It's time for children's story. So, since my sister's not here, I'm just going to tell all the stories about my sister, okay? So my sister and I, we grew up on a farm. We had animals, but we also visited other farms. And one time we went to a friend of ours, and they had sheep. Now, their sheep were rams, so they were boy sheep, and they had horns on them. And they were quite big. They're a specific breed called a Jacob sheep. They're fairly tall, and they're specifically for wool. The family that owned them would shear them and then spin their wool and make yarn and clothes and stuff like that. And on their farm, they had their whole farm fenced in, so their animals, especially their sheep, had free reign of the whole entire farm. They didn't just keep them in like one specific pen or one specific area. And we got there, and we were told that one of the rams was mean. He liked to come up and knock you down from behind. So he'd make your knees buckle. He'd hit you in the back. And so he had done this with the owners, and they said, you know, if you see the ram, you need to run. You need to come get us. Don't try to fight it. Don't try to, just know where the ram is at. He's not going to bother you, but if you see him, you need to get out. So my sister and I were outside playing and probably picking up rocks, because quite frankly, we were fascinated by rocks. And so my sister was farther away than I was. I was closer to the house, but she had gone up a little ways to play with the rocks and sticks and build stuff. And pretty soon this ram comes up. And remember, my sister is fearless, right? My sister does not fear anything. And so she's playing on the ground, and that ram comes right up to her. And she just stands up. She finds a piece of pipe on the ground, and she just starts whacking that pipe on the ground. A garden hose, she just starts whacking it on the ground. And the ram just looks at her and turns away. Well, our parents are watching this from the window, right? And they come out and they're like, are you okay? Did you get hurt? Like, are you okay? And Katie was fine. She's like, yeah, it didn't really bother me. It turned around and left, no big deal. But that reminds me of a story in the Bible. That reminds me of David and Goliath, right? There was a whole Israelite army that was afraid of Goliath. They'd even warned David and said, don't go near him. He's going to kill you. He's going to kill all of us. And he would come out and taunt them day after day after day. And there's a verse I'd like to read to you. It's found in 1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 47. 1 Samuel 17 and verse 47. And it says, and all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hand. David only had 5 stones, right, to kill Goliath. Katie didn't even have 5 stones. But with God on our side, we can do anything that God asks us to do. You don't have to have a sword and a spear. You don't have to be prepared for it. You don't have to even go looking for trouble, right? Katie didn't look to go fight that ram. She wasn't about to teach it a lesson, because they had. There are different ways you can teach rams a lesson if they get a little aggressive. The most common one is they take them and they flip them on their belly, and they beat them on their belly, because rams are very aggressive and they will hurt you. They will kill you if you're not careful. But Katie didn't have to do anything. She didn't have to go try to take care of the ram herself. She didn't have to go look for the ram, don't you dare come near me. Did she do that? She just did her own thing. And the ram came and found her. And we don't have to go looking for trouble. We don't have to go trying to fight with our sword and our spears. God will take care of us, and God will provide the means to do what he has asked us to do. You may quietly go back to your seat.